Oh, hello everyone. I hope you're all okay, and I'm welcome. I'd like to give you all a big warm welcome to Warren's Team Talk. Thanks for coming in to see me today and check out what I've got. Well, today what I'm doing is I've got the first of my preview videos for the Euro 2020 tournament, and what we're going to do today is we're going to look at Group A, which contains Italy, Wales, Turkey and Switzerland. So that should be quite an interesting group. And what we're going to do, we're going to have a look at each team in turn, each country in turn, I should say, and see what they've been up to and what they like and what their strengths, weaknesses, strengths are and things like that. So I hope you enjoy that. And yeah, it should be fun. Anyway, let's get on with it. So here we go. Here it is. This is my preview of the Euro 2020's Group A. Now, as I said, this group, it contains Turkey, Wales, Switzerland and Italy. So it should be quite an interesting group, really. Now, before we get started, I just want to say thank you for everyone who watched my England's Most Successful Football Club series. I hope you enjoyed that. And also, please remember to put a like on this video. Please subscribe to my channel. Please pass this around to anyone who you think might be interested in seeing it. That would be absolutely fantastic. But anyway, it's no more messing about and faffing around from me. Let's get on with it. So now the first team, who is the first team that we've got up in this preview? Yeah, it's Turkey. So the Turkish Football Federation, also known as the Crescent Stars, was formed on the 23rd of April 1923, and they joined FIFA the same year and UEFA in 1962. If we look at how their table in the comparison against other finalists, historically, Turkey, the 18th best team of the 24 teams who have qualified for the Euros this summer, and they're in qualifying. Let's have a look, see how they got on in their qualifying group for this tournament. Right, so in their qualifying group, they played in Group H, and they came second in the group behind France. Only lost one game and only drew two. So in their qualifying matches, they beat France at home 2-0. They drew 1-1 away to France, which is that's a very good record, really, when you think about it, considering the depth of talent that the French have got. Then Iceland, they drew 0-0 with Iceland at home. Not so good, I guess, but you never know. Iceland are a difficult proposition. They lost 2-1 away to Iceland. And then home games against, then in the following home games, they won them all. All their remaining games they won. Firstly, against Albania, they won 1-0 at home and 2-0 away. Andorra, they won 1-0 at home and 2-0 away. And then Moldova, they won 4-0 at home and 4-0 away. So in total, if we look at Turkey's combined record in World Cup finals and European Championship finals competitions, it's seen them play 25 games, win 9, draw 3 and lost 13. And with a 3 points per win basis, that gives them a total of 30 points. So it's not bad, I suppose, but there you go. Now, they have reached 2 World Cup finals in their history, which were in 1954 and 2002, and they've reached the 1996, 2000, 2008 and 2016 European Championship finals. Their best performances in the Euros and the World Cup have been in Euro 2008. Turkey finished third in the World Cup in 2002. And today, Turkey's UEFA ranking is 11 and their FIFA ranking is 29th. So if we look at their current form, you can see that they're unbeaten in their last 5 games. They played Norway in the World Cup qualifying match, which they won 3-0. They drew 3-3 with Latvia. That must have been quite an exciting game. Again, in a World Cup qualifying match. They beat Azerbaijan 2-1 in a World Cup qualifying match. They drew 0-0 with Guinea in an international friendly match. And finally, they beat Moldova 2-0 in an international friendly match. So this is the Turkey coach, and his name is Senor Gunez, if those of you don't know. He led his country to its greatest ever performance in international football when they finished 3rd in the 2002 World Cup, and he is hoping that he can take his country to another spectacular performance this time. He returned to the role of Turkey's head coach in 2019 after being away from the job for 15 years. In qualifying for the Euro 2002, for Euro 2020, they surprisingly took 4 points of the world champions France and only lost once in qualifying, and eventually finished 2nd in their qualifying group. They had the honour also of playing Italy in Rome to open the Euro 2020 competition, and they will also play Wales and Switzerland in their first round qualifying group. Turkey, since having qualified for Euro 2020 and having had somewhat disappointing showing in their Nations League, but they have returned to form recently and performed strongly so far in their qualifying group for the 2022 FIFA World Cup. So far, they have defeated the Netherlands 4-2, Norway 3-0, had a 3-3 draw with Latvia, as we already saw. Now, their veteran forward, Captain Burak Yilmaz, who is Turkey's highest goal scorer of all time, scored a hat-trick against the Netherlands. And the other player that we should watch out for is a guy by the name of Hakan Çalhanoğlu, who is an attacking midfielder who plays for AC Milan. Now, I do apologise for the pronunciation of that name. I'm sure that I've absolutely butchered it. Now, anyway, he's played for AC Milan since 2017. And since 2013, he's made 56 performances for Turkey and scored 13 goals in those performances. So let's look at what their schedule is for their first round group matches. Now, in their group, their first game, as I said, is against Italy to open the tournament on Friday, which will be played at the Stadio Olimpico in Rome. Then on the 16th of June, they face Wales at the Baku Olympic Stadium. And then finally, on the 20th of June, again at the Baku Olympic Stadium, they face Switzerland. Now, if they get through their group, potentially their next opponents, if they do qualify out of their group, if they qualify out of the group as runners-up, they will face the second place team in Group B, which contains Denmark, Finland, Belgium and Russia. If they win their first round qualifying group, they will face the runners-up in Group C, which contains Netherlands, Ukraine, Austria and North Macedonia. However, if they finish 3rd, there is a situation which means they could also qualify and they could finish the winners of either Group B, Group E and another group, depending on their record when finishing 3rd in their qualifying group compared with the other countries finished 3rd. in the first round qualifying groups. Now, I know it all sounds very complicated, but it will all shake down and work out all right in the end, I guess. Anyway, so yeah, that's Turkey. So let's move on now to the next one, which is, let's see who is up next. Yep, we've got the Welsh team. Now, the Football Association of Wales was formed in 1876 and the third oldest national association in the world, and one of the four associations, along with the English Football Association, the Scottish Football Association, the Irish Football Association, and FIFA, that make up the International Football Association Board, which is responsible for the laws of football. Now, Wales qualified from Euro 2020 qualifying Group E. And in their group, they came up against Croatia, Slovakia, Hungary, and Azerbaijan. And let's look how they got on in that qualifying group. So they drew 1-1 at home with Croatia and lost 2-1 away. They beat Slovakia at home 1-0 and drew 1-1 away. Against Hungary, they won 2-0 away and won 2-0 at home and lost 1-0 away. And then against Azerbaijan, they won 2-1 at home and 2-0 away. So if we look at let's look at their position in comparison against other finalists. Now, in comparison with the other finalists, historically, Wales are the 20th best team of the 24 teams who are qualified for the Euros this summer. Their combined record in World Cup finals and European Championships finals matches can be seen here. They played 11 games, won 5, drawn 3 and lost 3, scored 14 goals and conceded 10, and accumulated 18 points if we use 3 points for win system. They have reached 1 World Cup finals in their history, which was in 1958, and they've reached the 2016 European Championship finals, as well as obviously this current one. Now, their best ever performances in the Euros and World Cup. In Euro 2016, Wales reached the semi-finals before being knocked out by the eventual champions Portugal. And then in the World Cup in 1958, they were knocked out as well by the eventual champions Brazil in the first knockout round, which was the quarterfinals. Now, Wales's UEFA ranking is 47 and their FIFA ranking is 18th. Now, their current form, in the last 5 games, they lost 3-1 to Belgium in a World Cup qualifying match. They've defeated Mexico in an international friendly match. They've defeated Czech Republic 1-0 in a World Cup qualifying match. They lost 3-0 to France recently in a friendly match, and they most recently drew 0-0 with Albania, again in a friendly match. Now, Chris Coleman's Wales performed brilliantly at Euro 2016 when they lost in the semi-finals to eventual champions Portugal. But the core of the players who were successful in France have been added to by an exciting generation of emerging talent. And Gareth Bale and Aaron Ramsey will hope to provide their star quality. Now, this chap here, Robert Page, is the current interim manager of the Welsh national team, whilst Ryan Giggs has to sort out his legal issues. Now, as I said, the two main players to look out for in that Welsh team are obviously Aaron Ramsey and Gareth Bale. Now, let's look at what their schedule is in their first round group matches. So here we have it. They're in their group, in Group A, their first opponents will be Switzerland on the 12th of June at the Baku Olympic Stadium. The next opponents, again on the 16th of June at the Baku Olympic Stadium, will be Turkey. And then finally, they end their Group A matches against Italy at the Stadio Olimpico in Rome. Now, if Wales are able to qualify out of that group, and I don't see any reason why they shouldn't, if they finish as runners-up, they will place the second place team in Group B, which contains Denmark, Finland, and Belgium and Russia. But if they win their first round qualifying group, they will face the runners-up in Group C, which contains Netherlands, Ukraine, Austria, and North Korea. However, if they finish third in their qualifying group, they could also face the winners of either Group B, Group E, or another group, depending on their record when finishing third in their first round qualifying group, compared with the other countries who finished third in their first round qualifying groups. So, yeah, there we have it. That's the Welsh team. So, good luck to all the guys from Wales. I hope you do well, and I'll be shouting for you, obviously. And then let's look at who's next. So next we have Switzerland. Now, the Swiss Football Association was formed in 1895, was a founder member of FIFA in 1904, and joined UEFA during its foundation year in 1954. Switzerland qualified for Euro 2020 from Group D. In that group, they faced Denmark, Republic of Ireland, Georgia, and Gibraltar. And their qualifying record in that group was they drew 3-3 at home with Denmark. They lost 1-0 away to Denmark. They won 2-0 against the Republic of Ireland at home. And then they drew 1-1 with the Republic of Ireland away. And then they won 1-0 at home to Georgia and 2-0 at home. Sorry, 2-0 they won away at Georgia. And then they won matches against Gibraltar at home by 4-0 and 6-1 at home to Gibraltar. Now, if we look at how, the historical record in World Cup finals, if we compare them with their other Euro 2020 finalists, they are the 15th best team of the 24 teams who have qualified for the Euros this summer. And their combined record in World Cup finals and European Championship finals matches has been as follows. They played 48, won 13, drawn 13, and lost 22, and they've scored 53 goals but conceded 74, and under a 3 points per win system, they managed to get 52 points. So far in their history, they have reached 10 World Cup finals in their history, which were in 1934, 1938, 1950, 1954, 1962, 1994, 2006, 2010, 2014, and 2018. So they seem to quite consistently reach finals tournaments, and they've also reached 5 European Championship finals, which were in 1996, 2004, 2008, and 2016. Now, Switzerland's best performances in the FIFA World Cup were 3 quarter-final appearances in 1934, 1938 and 1954. They hosted the competition in 1954 where they played with Austria in a quarter-final match when they lost 7-5, which today still stands as the highest scoring ever World Cup match. Yeah, no, that must have been some game, I'm sure. Now, their best performances in the Euros came in the Euro 2016 tournament in France, when they lost on penalties 5-4 to Poland after the game ended in a 1-1 draw after extra time in the round of 16. Switzerland's UEFA ranking is 17 and their FIFA ranking is 13. Now, with this Switzerland team, really, if we're being honest, you're never really sure what you're going to get. Now, the thing is with that, I mean, if you've got people playing in that team like Granit Xhaka, then that's no surprise. As far as I'm concerned, the man is a liability, but that's a different story. I'm not going to go into that. Anyway, they've had a run of 7 games. They had a run of 7 games without a win. And this has given way to 6 consecutive victories, in which included a 7-0 thrashing of Liechtenstein in their final outing before the curtain raiser with Wales. Switzerland are, as I said, they're incredibly unpredictable, and they're currently managed by former Arsenal and Red Star Belgrade player Vladimir Petrovic, who when he was at Arsenal, I absolutely loved him. The man was levels, and I'm talking levels and levels and levels above the rest of his teammates. Now, I used to know a guy from Belgrade who was a Red Star fan, and he was a massive admirer of Vladimir. And apparently he met him a few times, and he spoke to him about his time at Arsenal. And apparently one of the problems he had at Arsenal was that he was too good for the rest of the team. And he had chats with Terry Neal, the Arsenal manager at the time, and he said, look, Vladimir, the problem is I can get one player to change the way they play, but you're asking me to change 10 of them, and I just can't do that. So in the end, he ended up having to leave, but he was quality. He just oozed it, as far as I'm concerned. Anyway, this video isn't about Vladimir Petrovic, it's about the Euros. So moving on. Their current form leading into the Euro 2020, they beat Bulgaria 3-1 in a World Cup qualifying match. They defeated Lithuania 1-0 in a World Cup qualifying match. They defeated Finland 3-2 in an international friendly match. They beat the United States 2-1 in a friendly match. And also, finally, they defeated Liechtenstein by 7-0 in the international friendly match. Now, here he is, the man himself, Vladimir Petrovic. What a hero. However, the calibre of opposition during, I have to say, going back to their current form, the calibre of opposition in that recent run, including Ukraine, Bulgaria, Lithuania, Finland and USA, suggests that really they're could be best described as flat track bullies. The problem facing Vladimir is that several of his players will arrive at the tournament a little undercooked, with Fabian Schär having missed much of the season through injury, and Sheridan Shaqiri often overlooked at Liverpool. And then you've got Granit Xhaka, who, like I say, I personally think he's a liability. Now, Switzerland, we've already looked at Switzerland's current form. Now, if we move on and look at their group contenders and fixtures, they play Wales in their first game on the 12th of June at the Baku Olympic Stadium. They faced Italy, which was on the 12th of June, sorry. Then they faced Italy on the 16th of June at the Stadio Olimpico in Rome. And then on the 20th of June, again at the Stadio Olimpico, they will face Turkey. Now, I'm not entirely sure if that's right. I think that game might actually be at the Baku Olympic Stadium, but anyway. Now, if Switzerland qualify out of the group, potentially their first, if they do qualify out of the group as runners-up, they will play the second base, the teams from Group B, which contains Denmark, Finland, Belgium, and Russia. If they win their first round qualifying group, they will face the runners-up in Group C, which contains Netherlands, Ukraine, Austria, and North Macedonia. Then if they finish third in their qualifying group, they could also finish the winners of Group B, Group E, and one other, depending on their record in finishing third compared with other countries who finished third in their qualifying group. So yeah, that's Switzerland. So let's move on and let's look at who's next. And it has to be surely, yeah, it's Italy. So Italy, now what can we say about the Italian team? The Italian Football Federation was formed in Turin on the 26th March 1898 and was affiliated to FIFA in 1905 and UEFA in 1954. They qualified for Euro 2020 from Group J. Let's look at how they got on in that group. Well, yeah, they won it comfortably. They won every game that they played, so it looks like the Azzurri may have gone back to former glories. In their qualifying group, they defeated Finland at home 2-0. They defeated Finland away 2-1. They defeated Greece home and away 2-0 at home, 3-0 away. Bosnia and Herzegovina, they defeated them 2-1 at home and 3-0 away. Armenia, they smashed 9-1 at home and defeated them 3-1 away. And then poor Liechtenstein, they managed to put 11 past them. They beat them 6-0 at home and 5-0 away. Now, if we look at if we compare them with the rest of the countries who've qualified for this year's Euros, they historically, Italy are the best team of the 24 teams who have qualified for the Euros this summer. Now, I can see a few of you raising eyebrows about that and saying to me, well, what about Germany? Now, the thing is with the Germans, right? First of all, sorry about that. Someone doesn't want to leave me alone. Yeah, but the thing about the Germans is that, first of all, they were Germany. Then we had the Second World War and the country got split into two. And then they competed as West Germany. And then the East Germans as well had their thing. East Germans qualified for the World Cup in 1974, but that's their only finals tournament. And then when the wall came down in 1990, Germany was reunified, and since around that time they've been competing as Germany again. Now, if the problem is, to be fair to all the other countries, such as the countries from the former Soviet Union and the countries from the former Yugoslav Republic and new countries that have come onto the scene, I couldn't really combine the Germans' record when they were separate entities. So if I had have combined their records, like as Germany and West Germany and East Germany, the Germans would have comfortably been the best team. But with this system, they're not. So their combined record in World Cup finals and European Championship finals, this is Italy, by the way, I'm talking about, has been as follows. They've played 115 games. They've won 54, drawn 37, lost 24, scored 152 goals, conceded 106, and managed to get 199 points. So, moving on. If we move on, they've reached all the World Cup finals except for 1930, 1958 and 2018. Now, the 1930 World Cup, they, along with most other European countries, didn't compete in it. And then before Euro 96, they qualified for the finals in 1968, 1980, 1988, and then the 1996 tournament. But since Euro 1996, they've qualified for every single Euros. So they've got a very proud record of competing in World Cups and European Championships. Now, Italy have so far won 4 World Cups in 1934, 1938, 1982 and 2006, and they've won the Euros once in 1968. Italy's UEFA ranking is 4th and their FIFA ranking is 7th. Now, their current form, in their current form, they defeated Northern Ireland 2-0 in a World Cup qualifying match. They defeated Bulgaria 2-0 in a World Cup qualifying match. They defeated Lithuania 2-0 in an international friendly match. San Marino 7-0 in a friendly match. And the Czech Republic 4-0 in a friendly match. Now, here we have the current Italian manager, Roberto Mancini. Now, Roberto Mancini replaced Gian Piero Ventura after Italy failed to qualify for the 2018 World Cup. And his win rate of 70% is unrivaled by any of his predecessors. His side is a mixture of youth and experience, and the Azzurri are now on a bit of a roll, when all of their 10 qualifying matches and they go in as clear favourites in Group A, but are they really, really back? That's what I'd say. Well, the ones to watch in their team are a chap by the name of Ciro Immobile. The Lazio striker has struggled to replicate his club form on the international stage, having averaged 25 goals a season over his last 5 Serie A campaigns. But the 31-year-old striker has underwhelmed for his country with just 12 goals, most of them against European also-rans in 45 caps. But group games against Turkey, Switzerland and Wales offers him a good opportunity to improve upon his record. But also, a tip from me, please make sure you keep an eye out for a chap by the name of Nicola Barelli. He's an up-and-coming player for the Italians, and he is an amazing player, in my opinion. Now, Italy's Group A matches, all of them are going to be played at the Italians' home ground, which is the Stadio Olimpico in Rome. They play Turkey on the 12th of June, Switzerland on the 16th of June, and Wales on the 20th of June. Now, their potential next opponents, if they qualify out of the group, is, as with the other sides, if they finish runners-up, they'll play the second place team in Group B, which contains Denmark, Finland, Belgium and Russia. And if they win their first round qualifying group, they will face the runners-up in Group C, which contains Netherlands, Ukraine, Austria and North Macedonia. And then if they finish third in their qualifying group, they could also face the winners of Group B, Group E and another group, depending on their record when they finishing third as compared to other third place finishers. So yeah, that's Italy. And that concludes the Group A. Everyone, that's it. That's my preview of Group A for the Euro 2020 Football Championships that are coming up at the end of this week. I hope you enjoyed that. Tomorrow I'm going to aim to come back with a preview of Group B for you, so that should be interesting. Anyway, I hope you're all well. Please take care, and please make sure that you subscribe to the channel, put a like on the video, share it, all that sort of stuff that I usually ask you to do. And remember, like I said, it doesn't cost anything for you to do that, and it only takes a second to click on the subscribe button. So anyway, like I say, I hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, thanks for popping by. And remember, please, please, please take care of each other. Make sure you spread some love, joy and happiness around the world. And please remember to keep talking. Anyway, thanks a lot. Take care, everyone. Hopefully see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye.